Welcome to our Curiosity Chill, where we pull a subject together to study. And this week, we will be studying Synesthesia.
Hey, what do you know? Synesthesia? Say it one more time for me, robot lady.
Synesthesia.
Love to hear it. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. And Megabyte Mary, welcome back for 32 months.
Welcome.
Thank you for inciting chaos in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Let's get a little mod love for this awesome team of moderators we got with us today.
Mod love.
Good to see you. I see the Dogter. I see Colorful Mess. I see MJ's Watson. Thank you for joining us. We got an awesome team on Discord as well, and our subscribers in Zen Garden and Jericho. Hello, hello. Smart Zombie, welcome back for 3 months. And Singer, hello, hello. Thank you for resubscribing. Saying yay, Mary. And Revel Player 1. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone here. We say good time zone to cover all the categories.
The time zones, yes. And son of a Mitch.
Son of a Mitch.
Thanks for subscribing.
Yo, and Golden Deviant's back for 25 months. Hello, hello. Come on in, everybody. We are studying synesthesia today.
Synesthesia.
And synesthesia, what is it? What is it? Let's get to it. You've heard maybe of people with the ability to hear colors or smell sounds. What does it mean? Let's look into it. Lauren Etiwaru, welcome, and thank you for the gift sub group hug. Super appreciate that. Thank you kindly. And Golden Deviant for 25 months. Sunamarol for 15. You have synesthesia.
Oh.
And you find it really helpful as a musician. Interesting. So let's pull up a poll right now just to get a wide idea. Synesthesia is a tricky word to spell. So it's Synesthesia. Synesthesia. ... I have it, or I have heard of it, or I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yet. ...
Yet. All right, let's do a poll. So, number 1 in the chat, if when I say synesthesia, you say, yep, I know that life. Number 2, if you say, I have heard of that. And number 3, if you have no idea what we're talking about yet.
So I see Maho puts colors with numbers.
Oh, colors with numbers.
And Salad Bar can see and feel music.
All right.
That's cool.
This is very cool. All right, so, wow, 14% of you are diagnosing yourself with synesthesia, and we are going to jump into some articles. Amelia has found this first one is from the APA.org, which is the American Psychological Association, and we've got another one that's a little bit more clinical, so we'll get to that if we want to, dive deeper.
Ooh, you can hear movement. That's cool. You can smell and hear colors.
Whoa.
Amazing. Well, let's learn more about it.
All right, let's get into it.
Also, Unprovidence, welcome back for 11 months. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for being here.
Thanks a lot.
And Lou951, that's a Twitch baby for you.
Wah! Raise it up right. Teach it to vote. Real quick, thank you to everybody who was voting. I have a cousin who's working on advanced upper limb prosthetic technology, and they are applying for a grant right now. And a lot of you found my Twitter and Instagram post and voted, and I want to tell you all that the Connor Army always accomplishes their mission. Right now, they're in first place. Wow. So thank you guys so much. Everybody who voted, it really means a lot to me. So I'm with all the rest of you who, or the majority of us, who have heard of it, but I don't know too much about it. So let's get into it. All right. This is synesthesia. There we go. The world everyday fantasia. All right, beautiful wife. You want to start us off with this cover story here? It's a 9-minute read, but we'll take our time because we are chatty. We're long talkers.
All right. With the help of sophisticated behavioral brain imaging and molecular genetic methods, researchers are coming closer to understanding what drives the extraordinary sensory condition called synesthesia. This was written in 2001.
Ooh, by Siri Carpenter of the Monitor staff.
Guitar music doesn't just tickle Carol Crane's fancy. It also brushes softly against her ankles. When she hears violins, she also feels them on her face. Trumpets make themselves known on the back of her neck. In addition to feeling the sounds of musical instruments on her body, Crane sees letters and numbers in brilliant hues. And for her, units of time each have their own shape. She sees the months of the year as cars on a Ferris wheel, with July at the top and December at the bottom.
Sean Day, PhD, tastes in Technicolor. The taste of beef, such as a steak, produces a rich blue, says Day, a linguistics professor at the National Central University in Taiwan. Mango sorbet appears as a wall of lime green with thin, wavy stripes of cherry red. Steamed gingered squid produces a large glob of bright orange foam about 4 feet away, directly in front of me. Crane and Day share an extraordinary sensory condition called synesthesia. 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 Thank you, robot lady. Synesthesia. We'd love to hear it. Synesthesia. This phenomenon, its name derives from the Greek, meaning to perceive together. It comes in many varieties. Some, synesthetes? Like athletes? Synesthetes? Hear, smell, taste, or feel pain in color. Others taste shapes, and still others perceive written digits, letters, and words in color. Some who possess what researchers call conceptual synesthesia see abstract concepts such as units of time or mathematical operations as shapes projected either internally or in the space around them. And many synesthetes experience more than one form of the condition. Uber Tall Pangolin, welcome and thank you for subscribing. This is your birthday? You're cheering.
Happy birthday to you.
Blue. Re3, thank you for being here and cheering, and happy birthday, Uber.
The condition is not well known, in part because many synesthetes fear ridicule for their unusual ability. Often, people with synesthesia describe having been driven to silence after being derided in childhood for describing sensory connections that they did not realize were atypical. Aw, no, but you're fantastical.
Maybe even
Magical, yeah. For scientists, synesthesia presents an intriguing problem. Studies have confirmed that the phenomenon is biological, automatic, and apparently unlearned, distinct from both hallucination and metaphor. The condition runs in families and is more common among women than men, researchers now know. But until recently, researchers could only speculate about the causes of synesthesia.
Hey, Dame Deviant. Welcome back for 33 months. Let's get a little extra mod love right there on that Dame.
Mod love.
Hey, and Splendane Blenda. Thank you for being here with your Prime. Appreciate you. And Ashley Pixie, thank you for 27 months of support. We really appreciate you subscribing and supporting our channel.
Yeah. All right.
For scientists, synesthesia presents an intriguing problem. Studies have confirmed that the phenomenon is... Amelia just read this, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
I need to scroll down.
Yeah.
Now, however, modern behavioral, brain imaging, and molecular genetic tools hold exciting promise for uncovering the mechanisms that drive synesthesia, and researchers hope for better understanding how the brain normally organizes perception and cognition. Researchers suggest that about 1 in 2,000 people are synesthetes, and some experts suspect that as many as 1 in 300 people have some variation of the condition. The writer Vladimir Nabokov was reputably a synesthete, as were the composer Olivier Messiaen, and the physicist Richard Feynman.
The most common forms of synesthesia, researchers believe, is colored hearing, sounds, music, or voices seen as colors. Most synesthetes, maybe we should get the robot lady too.
Robot lady? Hold on, let's
Tell us
ask.
how to pronounce this so that we're both not doing different versions.
Where is it? It's
The most common? Down here. There we go. Synesthetes. Nope, no, that one right there. Yeah. Thank you. I just want to make sure we're pronouncing it correctly.
Tell us, robot lady.
Tell us, robot lady.
What is the truth? Oh, robot lady's not so interested. Other robot lady. Tell us.
Synesthetes. Okay.
Everyone say synesthetes.
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 All right. Thank you, robot lady. Most synesthetes report that they see such sounds internally, in the mind's eye. Only a minority, like Day, see visions as if projected outside the body, usually within arm's reach. Some synesthetes report experiencing sensory overload, becoming exhausted from so much stimulation. But usually the condition is not a problem. Indeed, most synesthetes treasure what they consider a bonus sense. Yes, most definitely a bonus sense.
It's Noah. Thank you for subscribing with your Prime friend. And Shenra, thank you for being here for 19 months. Very appreciative of you. And 18 months for Septic Ange. Thank you for being here. And Slightly Sentient Toaster for 9 months, which is...
Twitch, baby.
Raise it up right.
Teach it to vote.
Teach it to vote. S.J. Miller, thank you for the cheers.
Okay.
If you ask synesthetes if they'd wish to be rid of it, they almost always say no, says Simon Baron Cohen, who is not Sacha Baron Cohen, PhD, who studies synesthesia at the University of Cambridge. For them, it feels like that's what normal experience is like. To have that taken away would mean to make them feel like they were being deprived of one sense. Scientific milestones.
In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, synesthesia enjoyed a flurry of scientific study, mostly descriptive. By the mid-20th century, however, synesthesia had fallen off scientists' radar, a casualty of the behaviorism movement. The phenomenon began to resurface as a subject of psychological inquiry beginning in the 1970s, stimulated largely by the work of two scientists. In 1975, Yale University psychologist Larry Marks, PhD, authored a review of the early history of synesthesia research in the journal Psychological Bulletin, Volume 82, Number 3.
Oh, that's my favorite volume. Do you guys have that one? Oh, with the limited first edition cover? Oh, the illustrations are great.
The first major psychological treatment of the subject after a 30-year drought. Then, in the 1980s, neurologist Richard E. Synesthesia, MD, published several case reports of synesthesia. He proposed provocatively that
So he was like, hey.
he proposed provocatively that the condition's cause rests in the limbic system.
Yay!
Whoa.
Mrs. Freeze 17, thank you for the raid.
Hey, Mrs. Freeze and Raiders.
Come on in, Raiders. What were you all up to? We are exploring synesthesia, which is to say when our brain can crisscross senses that we might see and taste where we would normally hear
Yeah.
or feel. And, whoa, you are playing Chapter 3 of Life is Strange 2 for the first time.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
So this, I don't know if you guys recommended synesthesia.
They did.
No, they did, but
yeah.
I'm not quite
Oh,
finished with the whole sentence, which is because you knew what was coming up in Life is Strange 3, but there's some interesting empathy reflecting itself in colors, in true colors, this new Life is Strange game.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that we're studying synesthesia after that trailer just dropped, so maybe there's something going on there with feelings and colors being mix-matched.
So right now we're learning about the scientific learnings of synesthesia. So in the early 1980s, neurologist Richard E. Quicktwick, MD, published several case studies reports of synesthesia. He proposed provocatively that the condition's cause rests in the limbic system, a more emotional and primitive part of the brain than the neocortex, where higher order thinking occurs.
Out of my way! Where's my Crash Bandicoot fans at? Somebody here.
Although that theory has not received widespread support, Quicktwick's case studies and his popular 1993 book, The Man Who Tastes Shapes, heightened synesthesia's prominence and prompted psychologists and neuroscientists to examine the condition experimentally.
Ooh-wee. And yes, I can confirm real quick, Katie Bentz is in Life is Strange 3. Yes. That is really cool. Katie Bentz is super awesome. So I'm going to do a little poll here because it's which sense would you like tied to another sense? Because, it's tricky to say, what's your favorite sense? But if one of your senses was going to be tied to another sense, let's start off with, the OG5, besides the sixth one, which is seeing dead people. We have sight. We have hearing. We have touch, feeling.
Yeah. We have taste.
We have taste.
And we have smell.
And we have smell. All right, let's do a poll here. Please type into the chat if you were, and I don't think you can, incite synesthesia for yourself. But if most of those with synesthesia say they would like to keep it, then perhaps if we woke up tomorrow and had synesthesia, which would you opt for it to be tied to? You have sight, where things you would see would affect your other senses, or hearing, touch and feeling, taste, or smell. I know it's sort of a tricky question, but welcome to Curiosity Chill, where I'm curious what's going on. You can vote by just typing 1 through 5 into the chat corresponding with your vote. Right now it's looking like a lot of people would want their sight and their hearing, or touch and feeling.
Yeah.
So basically you're like, leave my taste and smell out of it. I need those taste and smell to stay right how they are.
Yeah, agreed. Which one would you pick, Amelia? I think I'd probably pick sight.
Yeah?
Or hearing.
Yeah, for me it's hearing, I think. I think that would be interesting. All right, let's go deeper dive. Thank you, everybody, for your input. And we go down. In 1987, what is easily known as the greatest year of all time because the best stuff that ever happened happened in 1987.
Like you being born.
Like me being born.
And me being born.
And you being born.
Okay.
A team led by Baron Cohen found the first hard evidence that synesthetes experience experiences are consistent across time. The researchers ask a synesthete to describe the color that each of 100 words triggered. A year later, they repeated the test without warning and found that the association between words and colors that their subject described were consistent with her initial responses more than 90% of the time. In contrast, people without synesthesia asked to perform the same task, but with only a 2-week interval between the two tests, were consistent only 20% of the time. So there may be people who feel as if they are synesthetes, but then under more advanced analysis are not as consistent with what triggers.
Yeah.
You are consistently 90% a synesthete, huh? Parallel deviation. Well, you got a perfect name for that.
Yeah, I know.
What a great name.
That's so cool. In later research, Baron Cohen's group established that synesthesia is not only consistent across time, but also concretely measurable in the brain. Using positron emission, tomography, and functional magnetic resonance imaging. Whoa! The researchers have found that for synesthetes who repeat colored hearing, visual areas of the brain show increased activation in response to sound. That isn't the case for non-synesthetes.
Other studies have demonstrated that synesthetic perception occurs involuntarily and interferes with ordinary perception. The last summer, no. You guys, we didn't sleep so great last night because Theo woke us up a billion times. The last summer, Brian, stop saying the last summer. I'm going to highlight it so I get it correct. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And last summer, University of Waterloo researchers Mike Dixon, PhD, Daniel Smilk, Sarah Cudahy, and Philip Merikel, PhD, showed that for one synesthete, the color experiences associated with digits could be induced even if the digits themselves were never presented. These researchers presented a synesthete with simple arithmetic problems, such as 5 plus 2. Anybody know 5 plus 2?
7.
Oh, good work, Amelia. Nicely done. Their experiment showed that solving this arithmetic problem activated the concept of 7, leading their synesthete to perceive the color association with 7.
Cool.
So they didn't even necessarily have to say, I say 7, you say blue. They could say 5 plus 2.
Yeah.
No, Mia, it's not 52. It's not 28. You guys. It's lucky number 7.
This finding, published last July in the journal Nature, volume 406, was, according to Dixon, the first objective evidence that synesthetic experiences could be elicited.
Elicited.
Was the first objective evidence that synesthetic experiences could be elicited by activating only the concepts of digits. As such, these results suggest that, at least for this synesthete, the color experiences were associated with the digit's meaning, not just its form.
Together, the evidence shows that something is going on in the sensory areas of the brain. Christopher Lovelace, who was a PhD for only 1 day before saying, this concludes that something is going on. A research fellow at the Wake Forest University School of Medicine and the obvious. What we have to do now is try to figure out how the brain does it. Aha. Uncertain origin.
A century ago, researchers ascribed synesthesia somewhat vaguely to cross wires in the brain. Today, despite neuroscientists' more complex understanding of brain anatomy and their sophisticated tools for tracking brain function, synesthesia's roots continue to elude understanding. Several competing theories have emerged, but all require further testing. Baron Cohen and his colleagues propose that synesthesia results from a genetically driven overabundance of neural connections to the brain. Ordinarily, Baron Cohen explains, different sensory functions are assigned to separate modules in the brain, with limited communication between them. In synesthesia, Baron Cohen and his colleagues posit, the brain's architecture is different. Synesthetes' brains, they believe, are equipped with more connections between neurons, causing the usual modularity to break down, giving rise to synesthesia.
Ooh.
Wow.
Can we just please get a mission successful for my beautiful wife? Because there was a lot of tricky words in that one. Yeah, mission successful.
Thanks, friend.
Daphne Maurer, PhD, a psychologist at McMaster University. I get all these easy ones. McMaster University has further speculated that all humans may be born with the neural connections to allow synesthesia, but that most of us lose those connections as we grow. Yo, what do you think of that? The idea we would all be born with this ability, but then lose it as we grow? Naropa University psychologist Peter Grossenbacher, PhD, agrees that there's likely a genetic root to synesthesia. And like Baron Cohen's group, he and his colleagues have teamed with molecular geneticists to probe the question. But do not probe the android, because otherwise it will self-destruct. But Grossenbacher and his colleagues suspect a different brain mechanism.
We don't need to posit some abnormal architecture of connections in order to account for synesthesia, Grossenbacher argues. Instead, he proposes that in the brains of synesthetes feed backward connections that carry information from high-level multisensory areas of the brain back to single-sense areas are not properly inhibited.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not inhibited. They're extraordinary. Ordinarily, information processed in such multisensory areas is allowed to return only to its appropriate single-sense area. But in a synesthete's brain, Grossenbacher argues, that inhibition is disrupted somehow, allowing the different senses to become jumbled.
So wait, they hang down, flip it, and reverse it?
They hang down, flip it, and reverse it.
Is it worth it?
Let me work it.
Right now, motherfucker, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Right now, motherfucker, not yet. That being said,
Yes.
now we all understand what Missy Elliott was getting at. Grossenbacher believes his view is consistent with the fact that hallucinogenic drugs can temporarily induce synesthesia. I don't think that new connections are forming in the brain of those individuals for a few hours and then disappearing, he says. What's much more sensible, is that existing connections become used in a way that's neurochemically altered for a few hours. But Grossenbacher acknowledges, it's how he pronounces it, you guys. Brian, can you rap? Not well, scientist, not well, scientist. The trouble with Amelia would like me to continue on with the reading. I'm sorry, I was distracted by the opportunity to rap. Amelia is quite a good rapper, actually. If everyone studies well and gets above an 80% on the pop quiz that's coming at the end of the stream, Amelia will rap from Hamilton. And I will back her up, okay? And as she does that, in honor of synesthesia, you're all going to type in the colors or words that you're associating as the rap goes. There's going to be a quiz. Don't worry, it's like the easiest quiz you'll ever take. Okay. Where were we? But Grosenbacher acknowledges the trouble with theorizing in this area is that we are unconstrained by data. There isn't the right kind of data yet to differentiate between data and these two different theories. Baron Cohen agrees neuroimaging is the best thing we've got at the moment, but the spatial resolution isn't good enough to allow us to see whether the individual connections in the brain are cross-wired.
Post-mortem examinations would
Which
allow...
means they're dealing with a dead body.
So post-mortem examinations would allow closer inspection of what's different about synesthetes' brains. Grossenbacher and Baron Cohen agree. But so far, no known synesthetes have died and left their brain to science. Implications. For psychologists, interest in synesthesia extends far beyond just the study of a few individuals who experience the phenomenon. Synesthesia taps into a lot of other domains that are more familiar to many psychologists, says Marx. It tells us something about the nature of perception and what makes things perceptually similar to one another. Synesthesia may help us to understand how the concept of similarity is embedded within the nervous system.
In addition, Dixon suggests the fact that synesthetic perception interferes with the perception of physical stimuli highlights an important aspect of cognition. We tend to think of our experiences, and especially the visual system, as being bottom-up, he remarks. But there are many instances where meaning goes back down and influences our lower-order perception of the world. Synesthesia is just one very rare and exceptional example to that. Hey, Ryan McKee! Happy birthday to your ma, Pamela! Hello, hello!
Hello, happy birthday, Pamela!
Happy birthday to you!
Happy birthday to you!
Yeah! Thank you guys all for sharing these happy birthday messages. It's very sweet. Thank you for tuning in. We're glad to have you here. It makes us very happy when people celebrate their birthday with us or pop by on their birthday. We are blessed. The possibility that synesthesia has genetic roots is equally tantalizing. Ooh, says Grossenbacher, especially if it turns out that a single gene controls this condition, as some have speculated. If indeed something as central to mental life as synesthesia is controlled by a single gene, this might be rather a new kind of gene to know about, says Grossenbacher. It would be a gene that, in either of its forms, results in a healthy human but has a profound effect on the organization of the nervous system.
At a practical level, many researchers observe research on synesthesia will help raise the condition's visibility, reducing the risk that clinicians might mistake it as a sign of mental illness. In addition, Grossenbacher, Lovelace, and Crane, who conduct research on synesthesia while completing her doctorate in clinical psychology, are beginning to examine whether common mechanisms might underlie both synesthesia and hallucination. If so, synesthesia may be an ideal laboratory for studying those mechanisms. This is a group of people who would be available for research, explains Crane. Unlike patients who experience hallucinations, synesthetes are not medicated, so you don't have a confounding factor. we're able to talk about our experiences. We offer something very valuable. Cool. I think that's the end of this particular article.
Well, does that mean it's time for a pop quiz?
A pop quiz.
Okay.
Yeah. So, friends, please type into the chat something that you learned today.
Pop quiz.
Anything you learned.
You literally just have to type one thing that you learned. That's the whole quiz. And if everybody gets an 80% or higher on this quiz, Amelia will perform from memory.
Parallel Deviation says they're not alone.
You're not alone,
You're not
Parallel.
alone.
In fact, it seems more common than I thought.
Yeah.
That 5 plus 2 is 7.
That's true. That's true.
Now, listen, we've got a lot of mathematicians here.
That synesthesia can connect a sense with perceiving numbers.
Yeah.
That you have learned what synesthesia is.
There you go. You've learned that you're a muggle, Charlie. Very good.
You've learned how to pronounce it, yes.
I also do not have synesthesia. No. That something is going on in the brain. Good, sweet Christabel. I'm grateful that something is going on in the brain.
That many people get colors from listening to music.
Yeah. And it's Pamela's birthday today. Yes, you learned that.
You learned that you have pain empathy and that you can taste colors.
And learned that there are different kinds of synesthesia, right? That it doesn't affect everybody the same way. I learned that it might be possible that we have these pathways carved out in our brain from birth and then lose that ability over time. Which is really fascinating to think about all the things we might be capable of, but don't actually utilize in our day-to-day life. People can associate colors with sound, that's right.
So I'm curious, what do you think? Because we had a couple different theories on how it works on the brain. Do you think that everyone's brain has this ability, but that but that it's not necessarily, those channels are not open for everyone? Or is that something that is specific for synesthetes' brains? Or are we all capable but don't necessarily have it? So it could be triggered by, like, hallucinate, like drugs or something. That's what that other guy said, yeah?
All right, I'm trying to pull it, but it's a tricky word to spell every time. Here we go. Are we born with synesthesia and most of us lose it? Or do you think that we all have basic brain and some extra awesome people have synesthesia? What do you think? What could it be? Do you sense some synesthesia brewing deep in your latent mind? I like a lot of you saying basic brain. I don't know. I like to believe it's number one.
Yeah, I believe number one as well, because I know I don't think I have it, but I know that I like certain sounds, music has a very visceral effect on me. So I think that there's part of my brain that's like that, but not to a, full extent.
Right. It's interesting because even if I do not have synesthesia and never have, then I can still conceptually understand what that might be like. If I close my eyes and listen to music, I think I could invoke the colors more easily. But then that's imagining colors rather than having specifically that number trigger a color or something.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, well, the jury's still out, but you guys did great on the pop quiz.
Yeah, you did. So now the next question is, what are we going to study next week? What are you curious about for next week's Curiosity Chill?
Yeah.
What should we do?
We do have a second article on the subject, but it gets really, really specific and a little clinical.
Yeah.
And I think we've covered it there.
Basically the same things. Jericho wants sheep.
Jericho will see sheep on this list. Mind palaces. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna do mind palace and memory. I'm gonna put those two together. Deep ocean.
Deep ocean.
What else?
Carnivorous plants.
Oh yeah, carnivorous plants. Let's get a couple more. Maybe 2 more options.
A lot of sheep.
Jericho is just very committed.
Mermaids.
Mermaids? Okay, fine. And stoicism has been on
Yes.
there every now and then. All right. Stoicism. So here's another poll. This will be what we study next Tuesday at the same time. We start 45, 50 minutes earlier than whatever time it is for you right now. You can type a 1 in the chat if you would like to study sheep. Number 2 in the chat if you'd like to study the mind palace or memory, how memory works. Number 3 if you'd like to study the deep ocean and the creatures therein. Number 4, carnivorous plants. Plants that eat meat. Tasty. Mermaids is number 5. And stoicism
Is number 6.
I'm with you, though. I just want all you Stoics out there to know that me and Marcus Aurelius are with you.
All right.
right.
It seems that mind palace and memory are taking the lead.
All right, I'm going to give it a second because I feel like sheep might be able to fight this out. Bug meat. I just look over there and see Dolly being like, bug meat. Bug meat. Well,
I'm sure one day sheep will make it.
I don't know.
Because cheese was on for a while.
Cheese was on for a while. I do think, okay, so anybody who voted for sheep, I want you guys to start making flyers. I want you to go around town and drum up some hype, some awareness. I want you to talk to the people. Let's start a grassroots sheep campaign. You see what I did there? Grassroots. Anyway.
Alex, that's a good idea. Let's study the memory of stoic sheep.
The stoic sheep. The stoic sheep are so.
All right.
All right, well.
That's pretty clear.
Okay, but we could combine these other ones like deep ocean mermaids.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be kind of creepy.
Or deep ocean sheep.
Yeah.
In their mind palace.
All right, we got a winner.
All right.
That's mind palace and memory. We're gonna see if we can figure out how we can all have super memories and build up our mind palace. Well, Amelia, while the mod team summons our awesome raid targets, and we're gonna do one more poll together. I'm gonna cut this chill music.
Yeah.
Do you want to poll which rap or you want to?
Yeah. No,
okay.
let's pull which rap.
Okay. Hamilton rap. Which one? Give me the names.
Right hand man.
Right hand man or
Washington on your side.
Washington on your side. Here we go.
I hope I'm awake enough for this.
You might not be.
We'll see.
All right, Amelia's gonna rap one of these 2 raps for you guys. You earned it.
Yeah.
Amelia has these 2 prepared. Number 1 is for Right Hand Man, and number 2 is Washington on your side. Which would you like?
It has been 0 minutes since our last Hamilton reference.
And Nye, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you supporting our channel for 3 months. Thank you for your support. All right, Amelia's getting some water. She's doing her her famous pre-rap positioning. Getting ready with the maximum hype. It's going to be Washington on your side, my love, with 100 votes coming in.
Oh, yeah. All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Do you need anything from me on this one?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
whenever you feel inspired that moment, you'll know what it is.
Okay.
It will come and there it will be. All right.
Okay.
Ooh. Alix Quinn says that I am lavender purple to them, and so shall my rap be. And Bryan, you're bright orange like the sunset.
Oh,
That's cool.
I like to hear that. All right, I've got this music turned down and off. Let me. There it goes. Are you?
right.
Give me a levels test.
A levels test?
Yeah, like as in how loud you're gonna speak, so I can make
like
sure
this,
you sound good.
Like this. Yeah. All right. All right.
Do it. Do the rap.
It must be nice to have a Washington on your side. It must be nice, it must be nice to have a Washington on your side. Every action has an equal opposite reaction. Thanks to Hamilton, our cabinet's fractured into factions. Try not to crack under the stress. We're breaking down like fractions. We smack each other in the press, and we don't print retractions. I get no satisfaction witnessing his fits of passions, the way he primps and preens and dresses like the pits of fashions. Our poorest citizens, our farmers, live ration to ration, as Wall Street robs them blind in search of chips to cash in. This prick is asking for someone to bring him to task. Somebody give me some dirt on this vacuous mass so we can at last unmask him. I'll pull the trigger on him. Someone load the gun and cock it. While we were all watching, he got Washington in his pocket. It must be nice, it must be nice to have a Washington on your side. Look back at the Bill of Rights,
which I wrote.
The ink hasn't dried. It must be nice, it must be nice to have a Washington on your side. So he's doubled the size of the government. Wasn't the trouble with much of our previous government size?
Look at his eyes.
See how he lies. Follow the scent of his enterprise. Centralizing national credit and making American credit competitive. If I don't stop it, I aid and abet it. I have to resign. Somebody has to stand up for the South.
Somebody has to stand up to his mouth.
If there's a fire you're trying to douse, you can't put it out from inside the house. I'm in the cabinet. I am complicit at watching him grabbing at power and kissing it. If Washington isn't going to listen to discipline dissonance, this is the difference. This kid is out.
Oh!
This immigrant isn't somebody we chose.
Oh!
This immigrant's keeping us all on our toes.
Oh!
Let's show these federalists who they're up against. Oh, Southern motherfucking Democratic Republicans. Oh! Follow the money and see where it leads. 'Cause every second the treasury bleeds. Follow the money and see... Follow the money and see where it leads. Get in the weeds. Look for the seeds of Hamilton's misdeeds. It must be nice. It must be nice to have a Washington on your side. It must be nice. It must be nice to have a Washington on your side.
Bravo!
I only messed up one little bit at the end.
You did great. You did great.
Thank you.
You did great. And Anai A17 giving out those gift subs for your song, Amelia Rose.
Thank you.
Okay. I know everybody chose that one, but we have an awesome target for our raid, so we don't need to poll it. We actually we owe a raid back to Gabs. So we are going to, if you're comfortable with it, Amelia, I would like to do the other one too.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Just so you guys all know, Amelia right now is wearing a robe, holding her coffee. This is all coming off the top of the dome. Okay, this is all fresh out the brain. And if you would like,
okay, yeah,
let's do it. I got your back.
All right. We are outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned. We gotta make an all-out stand. Ayo, I'm gonna need a right-hand man. Check it. Can I be real a second? For just a millisecond, let down my guard and tell the people how I feel a second. Now I'm the model of a modern major general, a venerated Virginian veteran whose men are all lining up to put me up on a pedestal, writing letters to relatives, embellishing my elegance and eloquence. But the elephant is in the room. The truth is in your face when you hear the British cannons go.
Boom!
Every hope of success is fleeting. How can I keep leading when the people I'm leading keep retreating? We put a stop to the bleeding as the British take Brook. The night takes Rook, but look, we are outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned. We gotta make an all-out stand. And yo, I'm gonna need a right-hand man. Incoming! We're battering down the battery, check the damages. We gotta stop them and rob them of their advantages. Let's take a stand with the Let's take a stand with the stamina God has granted us. Hamilton won't abandon ship. Yo, let's steal their cannons.
Kaboom!
Goes the cannons, watch the blood and the shit spray.
Kaboom!
Goes the cannons, we're abandoning Kip's Bay.
Boom!
There's another shipping.
Boom!
Just off the southern tipping.
Boom!
Gotta get to Harlem quick, we can't afford another slip. Guns and horses, giddy up. I decide to divvy up my forces. The skittish as the British cut the city up. This close to giving up, facing mass scrutiny. I scream in the face of this mass mutiny. Are these the men with which I am to defend America? We ride at midnight, Manhattan in the distance. I cannot be everywhere at once, people. I'm in dire need of assistance.
Yo! Marvelous! And Fleeksy, welcome. Thank you for the raid.
Hi.
You guys. Whoa.